Hi, I'm Karina.
Hi, I'm Katrina.
Hi, I'm Renee.
And this is the Reborn Rundown.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. So this is our third podcast. So thank you so much for joining us once again. And before we get into this week's podcast, which is about scamming, we'd just like to say thank you to everyone that reached out to us about our last podcast, because we got quite a few people commenting, and it was really nice to have your support and have your stories. So thank you so much for that. We really appreciate it. So, scamming, Karina, what do we know?
There is so much in the way of scamming out there in the Reborn community. It's not just collectors that are getting scammed these days. It is artists, sculptors, obviously.
So, Renee, have you ever been scammed?
So I've been scammed. I haven't been scammed in terms of sent a doll that's not the doll I thought I was getting. That hasn't happened to me. It has happened in the skin color of it, but because I was purchasing a doll and the pictures looked a little bit funny, and I questioned about the flesh tone, and she said, no, it's perfect, and it turned up and it wasn't. It was like grey. But that's my fault, because I did see it in the pictures and I still went through with the purchase. So if you can see something in a picture that doesn't look right, it'll turn up and it won't be right. That's one tip I can give. The other thing that people have been trying to scam me when they've been trying to buy a doll off me. They've been just wanting my bank details, or they've been wanting my PayPal, and you can normally tell through their questioning that they're scamming you. And but I did go as far as giving my PayPal and everything, because I thought they weren't a scammer. And then when I gave them my PayPal address, they were shocked. What is that? They had no idea. They thought I was going to give them a bank. So then I knew they were a scammer. But yeah, that's you have to watch out, because you don't know what they're going to do with your personal information from a seller's point of view. And I've gone to buy dolls. I've nearly been scammed as well. In terms of, once I was going to buy silicone, and I was nearly about to buy it because the price was $2,000 and it didn't flag up to me as something unusual. So I thought, well, that should be okay. But normally, sometimes you'll impulsively buy, and I just held back from impulsively buying that night. And then when I went over to Instagram, that particular doll I was looking at 5 minutes prior came up on Instagram, and it was somebody else's doll. So I messaged them, do you realize someone is trying to sell your doll over on Facebook? I won't say who they were, but they're a really popular Instagram account with beautiful silicone babies. So I think sometimes you have to be careful, because a silicone will flag up if the price is too low. You'll know it'll be a scammer. But this person had the price at a reasonable price that you maybe expect to get.
Yeah.
It was just so lucky that I saw it over on Instagram and she said, when I messaged her, someone's trying to sell me your doll over on Facebook. And she said, yeah, that person's doing it with stealing her photos and doing it quite a lot.
It's amazing how good they get at copying photos and making fake profiles. Because I remember a while back, there was a Facebook site that looked like Aaliyah's Reborn World, and they were advertising silicone drink and wet dolls. And I was thinking, that doesn't sound like them. They don't stock those. So anyway, I ended up notifying them, and also commented on one of the Reborn pages. But I copped a lot of backlash, because everyone was saying, Aaliyah's are not scammers. How could you say that? And I ended up saying, I'm not saying that they are. I'm saying someone's actually scamming them, pretending to be them. So, yeah, it gets a bit tricky.
Yeah.
Sometimes the community can get a bit sensitive if they feel they've taken what you've said out of text.
Yeah.
Saying it, but they do come down. Like, one thing I love about our community is, even over on TikTok, I've seen people say, don't mess with the Reborn community, because they'll all come after you. Yeah.
Oh, that is
because somebody wrote some nasty comments on one of the Reborn girls' video on TikTok, and the other people commenting saying, don't come after her, because the Reborn World community will come after you. we do all band together, don't you think?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we need to do like one time a podcast on the
I
love
was
of the reborn
just
community.
about to say that about
Yeah.
cyberbullying and trolling and stalking and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and how our community sticks together with each other, because we do, like, that's what I love about
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
that.
So I was on Marketplace the other day and there was a Reborn advertisement. Not that I'm looking, but I thought I'll just have a quick look and see what it is. And it ended up being a fake Reborn. But the thing that got me was they were saying it had a COA and it had, a birth certificate and this and this. So for anyone that didn't know, it would be so easy to fall into that trap.
I know. I've seen them issue COAs, and actually a lot of the sculptors have complained that the COA they're issuing is almost the exact replica of their official COAs. That's what's so scary about it. Because Cassie, I've got some of her kits over there I can bring out and show you that when you purchase her sculpts, she's got a logbook and everything. So you sell the doll to, they write their name on it, or me as the artist, I write their name who I'm selling it to, and then if they're going, and you send all that along with the doll, the COA, a little logbook. It comes with the pacifier clip thing with Cassie Love on it. It's really beautiful. When you get her sculpts, and then if that person wants to sell the baby on, they write the next person's name, so it has its own little history of adoption.
That's
like a little passport.
Really,
like an adoption booklet.
Great idea.
Yeah, she's got
really
that.
Cool.
And then
sorry.
No, I was going to say there's the other COA that Nikki Johnston has with the silicone stamp.
The wax seal?
Yeah, and I think Bonnie Brown might have her COAs now with a holographic. Is that what you call it? Like a
hologram sort of.
Yeah, I'm pretty
watermark.
sure her new COAs have that, but correct me if I'm wrong, it could be a different sculptor, but I'm pretty sure they're all kind of doing something extra on their COAs now.
Anyone that was new, just starting out into the reborn world, like I was probably 3 years ago and didn't have an idea where to go, and typed in reborn into Google, the first thing it sent me to was a fake site, RSG dolls, and the photos looked incredible. But it was only when I went on Facebook and looked up some groups that I actually found out that that was a fake site. So I eventually, long story short, I wasn't looking for a reborn for myself. I was looking for one for a friend who was a social worker who was looking for one for a client with Down syndrome. And I was quite overwhelmed trying to find where to buy one. And it was just by chance I was on the reborn site and bumped into, I think it was Mini Me Reborns, and I had a lot of people that commented and said, yes, I've bought from her, she's a reputable artist. So I guess finding other people that can vouch that they're reputable artists really helps.
It is. It really does help. Word of mouth in the reborn industry is so important. I have had a lot of clients from word of mouth, so it is very, very important just to ask questions. I would probably say don't jump on a page and ask if a certain artist is a scammer, because that can have some repercussions. I've seen quite a few have said posting pictures of people and saying, hi, is this a scammer? Is this a scammer? And whilst that is good for you that you aren't going to get, you'll find out, it can do a bit of damage to the artist, because if they don't see people don't see in the comments, no, they're not a scammer or anything like that. It's a little bit like you'll come back and you'll see that artist later and you'll go, oh, they look like a scammer. I wonder, I've heard that name before. I wonder if they're probably a scammer and not purchase it. So it can do a little bit of damage to a person's reputation. However, it's probably best to, if you want to do that, maybe ask a couple of message the admin of the group, because a lot of the time the admin know everyone in the reborn industry sort of thing in Australia. I guess if you are in Australia, the admin will know usually. And if they don't, and they're a good admin, they will go and find out for you and help you out that way. So, yeah.
So I guess probably we should talk about the fact that we actually got scammed on our Facebook page, and we actually had to stop doing our giveaways because some scammer made a fake profile very, very similar to ours, and when we were doing competitions was commenting after each person, click this link, you've won, and by Reborn and Baby Creations Expo. The only difference was I think they had an underscore in it.
Yes.
But unfortunately, a few people commented me and went, oh, wow, I've won, thank you so much. And I was like, no, you haven't. I'm really sorry. What's going on? And but it did do a little bit of damage to our page because people thought we were scammers and we weren't. So
yes, that's true. Yes.
That's all right.
Okay. So I just wanted to talk about a story that happened to me. One day somebody messaged me. I have a Meili sculpt by Ping Lao. It's a toddler doll. And somebody messaged me and said, someone's trying to sell your doll. And what they'd done is they'd gone on to either my Instagram or Facebook, or because my Facebook used to be open, actually now it's private, but I put it private because of that reason. They'd stolen my photos, and they had my photos up and they were selling it. Anyway, I found it and I found them and I messaged them, I'm interested to buy that doll, and can you send me a safety picture? Because I was thinking they're going to make up some excuse as to why they can't. They did make up an excuse. They said to me, yes, I can, but I'm at work at the moment. I'll be home in an hour. If they get that's a red flag. Like, you've got to count red flags when you think you, even if you don't think you're dealing with a scammer, you have to kind of always, in our kind of like hobby, unfortunately, assume they are one until you can prove that they're not. Don't you reckon?
Yep.
Yeah. So I said, okay, no worries. Anyway, they sent me like about an hour or two later. It was my doll in my room, on my bed, my picture, but it had the safety photo, handwritten like on a piece of paper, the date, the doll, and everything. And they had actually photoshopped in a safety picture on the doll. But
incredible.
Nowadays with the AI, you can think you like over into an AI and say, can you please act like a detective for me and investigate this photo and check if there's any photoshopping done on it. And you can tell it, please pay really good attention to the handwritten safety. And normally AI, you can't 100% rely on them, but they will give you a good answer if it is photoshopped or not. So that's a story that happened to me, which was really kind of like shocking. I was shocked. So I was 100% expecting them to say, no, I can't give you the safety photo.
Yeah.
Anyway, then I said to them, you know what, you should be ashamed of yourself. That's my doll. That's my pictures. You've stolen them. And I reported them. But when you report on Facebook, do they really do anything? I don't know.
I know. Sometimes they ban them for 2 weeks or something like that. So I suppose how many scammers would be out there to try and investigate them would cost so much money. So, yeah. But so another thing that I've heard of in terms of safely buying is to actually FaceTime the person and get them to FaceTime actually holding the doll and holding themselves, like photo of themselves. Yeah.
Recommend anybody who's purchasing a doll, doesn't matter how much it is, because all the dolls are expensive in the reborn world. Even if it's a $200 doll, that's expensive.
Yeah.
And right up to thousands of dollars. But
and if you don't feel sorry,
no, you're right.
If you don't feel comfortable like doing a FaceTime, even just asking them for a video where they say your name. I've done that so many times for customers where I've said, this is a video for Joe
Bridget.
Bob. Yeah.
funny how in our reborn world we don't say to the person, "Can I have your mobile number and call you?" Like, that's the thing that never ever happens.
Yeah.
Like you negotiate through texts or marketplace or wherever you buy. You don't say, "Can I have your phone number, please, because I'm going to ring you." Why not just do that? Like, it's such a thing that no one really does.
Yeah, it is.
I will admit I've been cautious about handing my number out these days.
Yeah, that could be why. But if you're going to get a
100%.
video, you have to give them your number.
Yeah.
And send you a video.
Because I once sent a parcel out and it has the safety declaration in case they're shipping it on the aeroplane and everything. And I filled my phone number out, and the person that I sent the package to was messaging me all the time. And I was like, I sent you an item that you bought. Like, I didn't realize I was signing up for a friendship kind of thing. I'm someone that I didn't know. So, yeah.
Well,
maybe that's why they don't do it.
there, exactly.
So I feel like if anybody's got any scamming stories that they'd like us to have a chat about with you guys, leave it in the comments below. Oh, yep, Karina.
Oh, that's okay. I do.
Okay.
And that's what I was saying before. Like, it's not just collectors, because I think I have maybe 2 reborns, and that's my first one I ever did, and one other. So I don't collect, but selling, in as much as selling and having things stolen and scamming, I created a doll, put it on reborns.com. It was sold very quickly. However, a few months down the track, I got some messages from people asking where their doll is from. What they actually did was they did a reverse image search on Google to find the source of the photo, and that's how they got my contact details. And they were asking why it hadn't arrived yet, and they said, we purchased it on your Etsy store. I said, I don't have an Etsy store. So, kind of long story short, it turns out that someone had, like they do, they go on and they find pictures of high-end reborns that they like, and then they sell them. Sorry, they don't. They post them on Etsy then to sell them on to other people that never got it. And in the end, I tried to get them shut down. Etsy completely ignored me. I even emailed the scammer and said, this is my work and you've stolen my work. Stop. I've reported you. And they didn't stop. Anyway, in the end, 259 people got scammed just by that sale of my one doll, the pictures using my one doll. 259 people. And these people were messaging me saying that they were absolutely devastated because they'd been saving for a reborn for their kids. They had been saving for so long and they just lost everything, and Etsy did nothing. So it's not, and I felt, even though I hadn't done anything wrong, I felt so bad because it was my work that was being used to scam people out of their hard-earned money. It was horrible. But so it happens to artists as well, and trust me, as artists, we feel just as bad. And I'm sure the sculptors are the same, that we feel just as bad when people get scammed using our work.
I have a tip for everybody if you're buying a doll. Use PayPal, not family and friends, PayPal, because that way, whatever turns up to your house, if it's not what you think it was, they will give you your money back, and then they will chase.
Exactly.
They will chase. They will do the chasing for you. Yeah. I once, this is just a quick story, but I wanted a toddler once. It was the one with the dimples from Ping Lao, not Dimples. The other one, I forgot, Breya, I think. Anyway, I asked this lady in Africa to paint the baby for me because she was an amazing artist. This is when I first got in the hobby and I didn't know any artists. So to fall into these. And she said, and she was posting up beautiful ones, dark skin, afro, just gorgeous. And I was like, I really want one of those. So I paid her half of the deposit. Like I think she wanted a lot of money, around $3,000 our money. So she said, I want 50% up front. I know. I want 50% up front, then I'll have the other 50% when I finish. So I paid her that 50% up front, but then she took so long to start even making it. I'm talking months. And I kept saying, where is the doll? Can you send me progress pictures? And she never did. And thank God I did it with PayPal, because then I had to launch complaints and get my money back. And then she started getting angry at me, saying to me, why did you launch a case against me? Because apparently that's bad. I didn't know. This is like this is like more than 5 years ago. And now because I think if you launch a case against someone, it gives them a bad.
It does, yeah. It does. And it restricts their what they can take in on amounts and that sort of thing.
Well, she took that long. She hadn't even started. I got so worried. And I just said, look, don't worry, because by that time I had found a different artist here in Australia and could make me sculpt, and, I didn't want to risk. So go with PayPal. That's what I'm saying.
PayPal is definitely a good.
Yeah, you've got to back up.
Yeah.
So, like I said, if any of you have any stories, please leave it in the comments. I just wanted to touch on, before we go, one thing.
I've got one more story.
Okay, go.
I was just going to say, a good recommendation is to come to the Reborn and Baby Creations Expo, and you will see a whole host of artists and different babies, and you'll see the COAs, and we are not
different
allowing
price
fakes
ranges.
at this show. Yeah, so that's a fabulous, great way to safely buy a baby.
Yeah, absolutely.
Over to Karina.
And we do not allow counterfeits at the expo either, so you're safe there. Yeah.
And even if you see a baby there you like that you can't afford on the day, you can take the artist's number, their card, and you can slowly discuss with them payment plans, because a lot of artists I take payment plans. You can slowly pay off a doll. You don't have to have the money straight away. So there are other ways to purchase a dream doll that you would really love. But yeah, come to our expo. It's on the 21st of September at Hornsby RSL Club, number 4 High Street. There's free parking.
There's bowling.
There's lots of restaurants.
We're taking Katrina. We are taking Katrina bowling.
We're going to have lots of games. We're going to have fun. So come there on the 21st of September. Put it in your diaries, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. So, yeah.
Our next podcast.
Yes.
Our next podcast, we're doing update on the show and what's happening and how exciting it is.
Yeah, on our next podcast, we're going to talk about our vendors. We probably won't get through all of them. We might have to do a part 2.
Yeah,
we've got a lot of vendors.
Yeah, we want to introduce you to all of them.
Yeah.
Karina and Katrina are vendors.
So do they.
And so am I, but
yeah. But I would just like to finish the podcast with a rendition of The Partridge Family.
Oh, tambourine.
Oh my God,
I'll get my ukulele.
That is so funny.
My microphone too.
That's it. Next week I'm getting my tambourine.
Yes.
Okay, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. We had such a fun podcast with you guys today.
Yes, we did.
Podcast will be coming up soon, when we get everything configured.
Okay. So thank you, everyone, from Karina.
Thank you,
Katrina.
Thank you. And please subscribe to our channel. And if all your Reborn Dolly friends love a good chat about dolls and everything in the world of dolls, share the video to them.
Yep.
Definitely.
Sounds great.
Have a good day. Bye.
Welcome back. It's time to chat about reborn dolls. Imagine that. So grab your brushes, let's sit down and tune into the Reborn Rundown.
This podcast was brought to you by the Reborn and Baby Creations Expo team.